What's up everyone, I'm Sergeant First Class Justin Morelli coming at you live with another episode of Trivia Tuesday. Welcome back to all you return players. Of course, this is the 9th episode of Trivia Tuesday brought to you by the U.S. Army in New England. I am so excited to have you all on today. We have about 19, or we just jumped up to 20 players right now. So I can already tell you it's going to be a good game. We have a lot of difficult questions as usual. But fear not, if you do not know the answers, I promise you, you will learn something. As always, our episode today will go under an hour, so in about 45 minutes or less, hopefully, you will walk away smarter than you came. So, or if you already know all the answers, then you're gonna go home with a $20 prize, and that's also pretty awesome. So, with that being said, I wanted to go over a couple things with you guys. For one, I got this fancy certificate here, and I'm just going to read it to you real quick. In recognition for your outstanding participation in the U.S. Army Recruiting Battalion New England's Trivia Tuesday on such and such a date, your extraordinary knowledge and dedication to the retention of random information hereby confirms that you are certified as wicked smart. Your victory reflects great credit upon yourself, the Founding Fathers, New England, and the United States of America. And it is signed by me, the Trivia Tuesday host, as well as John Hancock, the Trivia Tuesday ghost. So, if you win or place in the top 3 today, you will go home with one of those prizes as well as cash money. So, pass the word, tell all your friends. We have a few more minutes before we get started, or probably a little bit less here, but players are coming and going. We're up to about 20 players. Now we're down to 17. I know that sometimes that's a connection issue, so I'm going to give everyone a chance to get started. Today's questions, as I said, are going to be challenging as usual, but we're going to have fun with it. So no cheating. We go over that still every week. Don't use the Googles. That violates one of our Army values, which is integrity. So don't do that, but please come out and play. It is best to watch along on YouTube on one device and then use your phone as an answering device. And you can just go to the Kahoot app or to Kahoot.it and enter in 1412090. So that will be flashing up throughout the game, but again, the Kahoot code is 1412090. So, all right, I think it's about time. We drop back down to 16 players. So let's see here. I think it's about time to get going. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start the game. Let the games begin. All right, so this is episode 9, as I said. And just to give you guys a little bit of an understanding, this first slide, of course, we go over American history, and this round contains 3 questions worth double points. So I'm going to give you guys a little hint. We're coming out of the gate, rapid fire style, and the first few questions are going to be worth double points. So I threw that mix in there just to try to make things a little bit more fun and a little bit more competitive. Don't be discouraged if you don't get these questions right. They are difficult, but you can still make a comeback. You will stay in the game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. It's a ×2. This group is widely considered to be the most successful organization of spies during the American Revolution. Is it A, the Culper Ring, B, Rogers Rangers, C, Knowlton's Rangers, or D, the Setauket Six? So we got 20 seconds remaining. That picture there, if you're looking on Kahoot, is actually the capture of Major John Andre, who was in cahoots with Benedict Arnold, the infamous traitor of the Revolution. We have 5 seconds remaining, so go ahead and get those answers in. We got 17 answers so far, so great job to everyone. And here comes the correct answer. So we got 6 with the correct answer, which is in fact the Culper Ring. So the Culper Ring, Samuel Talmadge was the officer in charge. Abraham Woodhull, Caleb Brewster, Anna Strong, and many, many others, as well as some unidentified agents that still to this day are unknown. But with many thanks to them, we were able to acquire information on the British, and it helped in the direct defeat in many ways. For instance, when Benedict Arnold did commit treason and was planning to give West Point over to the British, it was the Culper Ring that actually identified that. They captured Major John Andre, who was the head of British intelligence in the region, and they have several other notable actions that they were able to execute during the Revolution that influenced the outcome for the colonies. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. And all right, here we go. So Death Star takes a big leap there with 1744, so he got his answer in real quick. Buttercup's right behind. Maddie B's in third place, Bloomington's in fourth, and then None Me is in fifth. So coming out of the gate really strong. You guys had some quick answer times there. So let's go ahead and check out the next question. All right, it's another times two. So a member of the Daughters of Liberty, Sarah Bradley Fulton, is sometimes called what? Was it A, the female Paul Revere, B, the mother of the Tea Party, C, Molly Pitcher, or D, Agent 355? So we have about 15 seconds remaining, so those answers are coming in real fast. This picture is just of some of the Daughters of Liberty, and I'll tell you, the women that were involved during the Revolution were so just important and fundamental. So, all right, 7 with the correct answer, and it is in fact the mother of the Tea Party. So, Sarah Bradley Fulton, she was there and present with all the Sons of Liberty at the time, and it was actually her idea that she suggested that the Patriots at that time dress up as Mohawk Indians before they actually went on to dump over all the tea, the contents of the tea into the Boston Harbor, essentially. So turning the Boston Harbor into a teapot. So yes, the Daughters of Liberty played a huge role, and it's known, even Sam Adams went on to say, that they were just such an important part of the Revolution, and the Sons of Liberty couldn't have gone nearly as far as they did with getting the revolution started if it hadn't have been for the Daughters of Liberty. And I thought it was about time that we pay some homage to them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. Death Star jumps down, but Maddie B jumps up. So great job, Maddie B. None Me jumps up as well. Death Star's down in third, Buttercup's in fourth, and Bloomington's is in fifth. So keep it up, Buttercup. And also, let's see how you do on this next one, Bloomington's. With that being said, Jenny C is the highest climber, so great job to Jenny C. And let's go ahead and check out the next question. All right, another times two. So Robert Shirtliff, a soldier in the 4th Massachusetts Regiment in the Continental Army, was eventually discovered to be a what? Was it A, a woman, B, a spy, C, a British soldier, or D, a defector? And we have about 10 seconds remaining, so get those answers in. We got 17 answers in, 18 answers in now. You guys are all doing great. We got about 5 seconds remaining, so I'm going to give you the countdown, and it's 3, 2, and 1. Let's see how we did. Yes, in fact, 9 with the correct answer. So it was a woman. I know I might have thrown you off a little bit there with some of the spy questions and everything else leading up to it, but no, in fact, it was a woman. She was from, the Boston area, and she believed in the cause and fighting for independence. She signed up to be a part of the 4th Massachusetts Regiment. She fought alongside of everyone else, disguised as a man the entire time, and it was not until that she was injured that when she went to get some medical attention, it was discovered that she was not, in fact, a male, as they had thought. So, interestingly enough, she was married to a man, and after the war, so she received her pension, and it went to both of them because it was kind of unprecedented at the time to have a woman serving in the front lines. So great job to everyone that got that right. You guys are clearly smarter than a lot out there, because that was a tough one. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. So we got Maddie B still on fire with 55.30. Death Star jumps back up to second place. Buttercup drops down to third. Not Cello and Jenny C are now on the leaderboard. So welcome. This is what winning feels like. So you guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Maddie B has that correct answer streak going with 3 correct answers. So you guys are all chasing after Maddie B right now. So let's see how it turns out here, and let's go ahead and check out the next question. All right, here we go. This state was the first to write their own constitution in 1776. Was it A, Rhode Island, B, Massachusetts, C, New Hampshire, or D, Maine? Got about 20 seconds remaining. Obviously, I think most of you know at this point, the faster you get your answers in, the more points you get. But there's also that strategy where if you don't know the correct answer, getting something correct, getting some points is better than getting no points. So we have about 3 seconds remaining, and I think all the answers are in. So, all right, the correct answer is in fact New Hampshire. So for those of you that don't know, I am proud of being a New Englander, and I currently reside in New Hampshire. New Hampshire was the first to write their own state constitution, and they were the first to ratify such. It was in fact passed in Exeter, which is just a great area, beautiful location, close to the seacoast and everything else. But Exeter played a fundamental role throughout the Revolution, because there was a number of different things that took place here, including George Washington passing through several times. Abraham Lincoln used to come here, and also the gunpowder for the Battle of Bunker Hill was stored here. So I covered that last week for some of you that are tuning back in, but it's just really interesting. I mean, they took the gunpowder from Portsmouth, from Newcastle, when the British were initially seizing that area, and they got the gunpowder out in time to be able to go on and fight the Battle of Bunker Hill. So New Hampshire has been a first for many, but I just thought that was an interesting fact. So let's go ahead and check out that leaderboard. All right, Matty B locks it in. He manages to stay in top for another round. So Death Star is also in number 2, Buttercup's in number 3. None Me and Not Cello are not too far behind. So great job to you guys. We don't have anyone on fire anymore right now. So with that being said though, let's go ahead and check out the next question. All right, this state was the last to ratify the U.S. Constitution in 1790. Was it A, New Hampshire, B, Connecticut, C, Rhode Island, or D, Vermont? Now, keep in mind, like I said, this is the U.S. Constitution. So all of the colonies had signed this previously to this state. They were a bit stubborn, and they weren't exactly in agreement with everything, and therefore they did not sign it right away. So we got 18 answers in with 5 seconds remaining. I'm going to give you the countdown to 3, 2, and 1. All right, we got 2 with the correct answer. Oof. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of you guessed Vermont on that one, and I get it. You know, Vermont, they were their own, republic for a long time, but you got to remember, the original 13 colonies, and Rhode Island was once known as Rogue Island. So Rhode Island opposed just some of the different things that were taking place within the new country that had just been formed. And it wasn't until Congress threatened to basically isolate Rhode Island and no longer do trade and business with them that they finally went ahead and signed and ratified and confirmed the Constitution in 1790. So once again, Rhode Island, always the smallest state in the country with quite an interesting story. So interesting fact might be a little hint for a future episode on Trivia Tuesday, but 20% of the nation's historic landmarks are actually located in Rhode Island, which is the smallest state in the country. That's just absurd to me. So anyways, moving on to the next question, let's go ahead and check out that leaderboard. All right, so Maddie B stays up top, Death Star right behind, Buttercup's in third, None Me and Not Cello. So nothing has changed, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see who can get up onto that leaderboard and dethrone some of these top five. It is clear that these people know what they're talking about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the next question. All right, we're moving on in New England trivia. And this round will contain 2 questions with double points. So be prepared. Here we go. All right, so ×2 right out the gate. Once U.S. Army General and Governor of Rhode Island, Ambrose Burnside is unintentionally known for what? Was it A, the term sideburns, B, Rhode Island's state motto, C, inventing the diner, or D, opening trade with Japan? So all of those things come from the small state of Rhode Island again. But we have about 10 seconds remaining with 15 answers in. So go ahead and get those last few answers in. And let's go ahead and talk about Ambrose Burnside. All right, 1 second remaining. And awesome. So yes, we got 10 with the correct answer for that. So it is in fact the term sideburns. So Ambrose Burnside was not the first person to wear his facial hair in that style or fashion, but he was an American Civil War general for the Union, and just because he happened to shave his face in that way, that term, basically sideburns, became an everyday type of word that we all commonly use to describe that style of facial hair. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. He was the governor of Rhode Island, as well as a U.S. Army general, as I said. So just pretty cool. Definitely a random note, and chalk that away in your bank of useless knowledge. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. All right, Death Star moves up to first place. Maddie B drops down. Buttercup stays in third. Bloomington's is back on the leaderboard. Welcome. And Team Rocket is making an appearance in fifth. So great job. It is a close game. Death Star just took a pretty significant leap there. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that you can take him down at any point. And Death Star, be aware, they're coming for you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. All right, this paper supplier to the U.S. Mint, Crane Currency, comes from which state? Is it A, Connecticut, B, Maine, C, Massachusetts, or D, Rhode Island? So all of our money is printed on a cotton blend of paper, much like a fabric in itself. We have about 10 seconds remaining with 18 answers in, so I'm going to let the clock run down and get those last couple answers in. But while you're thinking about it, think about those Benjamins. All right, we got 6 with the correct answer. So a lot of people guess Maine. I can understand that with all of Maine's trees, but it is in fact Massachusetts. So Crane Currency has been around from the very beginning. In fact, they were the first company to print money for the state of Massachusetts, as well as money for the colonies, essentially, during the Revolution. And the printer and engraver was, of course, Paul Revere, who was one of the most talented artists of that time. And he linked up with Crane and got to printing money because they needed a way to pay the soldiers that were fighting during the Revolution. And so they began printing money. And ever since, Crane Currency has stayed on top. It recently, in the last 10 years or so, it was sold to Crane and Company, which is a off-brand of still the same family, but it's a very big family business. I mean, they're in everything from aeronautical engineering to paper to whatever else. So, and that company is headquartered in Connecticut, but Crane Currency is still headquartered in Boston, where it all started. So let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. And we got Death Star still locked in first place. And Buttercup right behind in second place. Maddie B drops down to third. Bloomington's is in fourth, and Team Rocket is in fifth. So see what it is the highest climber. So she's up 4 places, so great job to her. With that being said, it's time for the next question. All right, it's another times 2. In 1950, Bill Rosenberg opened his first restaurant in Quincy, Mass, and now has 11,300 locations, known as what? Is it A, Friendly's, B, Up on Pain, C, Burger King, or D, Dunkin' Donuts? So Quincy, quite a bit, comes out of there. 15 seconds remaining, guys. The town of Quincy is obviously named for okay, almost 5 seconds remaining with 19 answers in, and we are going to give the countdown. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, we got 13 with the correct answer on that, and it is Dunkin' Donuts. So America runs on Dunkin', everyone knows that, and if you're from New England, you can't go very far without running into several Dunkin' Donuts along your way. It is a popular company that all got its start in Quincy, Massachusetts. So pretty interesting. Highlighting the fact that, once again, New England has just, offered and contributed so much to society. Dunkin' Donuts, it's great. I mean, it's delicious. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. And Death Star stays in first. Buttercup stays in second. Bloomington's moves up to third, so great job to Bloomington's. And 3 players are on an answer streak right now. So see what it is. Welcome to the leaderboard. You're in fourth, and Team Rocket's in fifth. So it is clear that you guys are doing awesome. Great job. Keep it up. And with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the next question. All right, this candy, invented by George Smith of Connecticut, was named after his favorite horse. Was it A, Pez, B, the Charleston Chew, C, Tootsie Rolls, or D, the Lollipop? So New Englanders love their sweets. I'll just say that. A lot of candies have been invented here, and New Englanders actually consume more ice cream year-round than any other region within the country, because they sure do have a sweet tooth. So with that being said, we got about 3 seconds remaining. So 3, 2, 1. All those answers are in, and we only got 1 with the correct answer on that, ladies and gentlemen. So 1 with the correct answer. It is Lollipop. And interestingly enough, George Smith, he named that type of candy after his favorite racehorse, who was Lolly. And so he figured that having a hard candy with a stick inside of it would just make it a little bit easier, less of a choking hazard potentially. Whatever his reasoning was, lollipops took the nation by storm and became a favorite by all. So once again, another thing coming out of New England. So let's go ahead and move on, check out the leaderboard. All right, Buttercup moves up into first place, dethroning Death Star for the first time in a series of questions. So awesome job, guys. Bloomington's is in third, locking it in. See what it is, stays in fourth, and Team Rocket stays in fifth. So all we saw there really was dethroning Death Star and Buttercup moving up into first. So great job, Buttercup, with 4 correct answers. You're on a streak there, and you guys are just doing an outstanding job. I can't tell you how impressed I am, because these are not easy questions by any means. But with that being said, it's time to move on to the next question. All right, this New England state has more breweries per capita than any other state in the country. Is it A, Rhode Island, B, Massachusetts, C, Vermont, or D, Maine? All right, 20 seconds remaining. For those of you that like beer, this can be a bit of just a very exciting place to visit, because you are surrounded by good beer all around. So go ahead and get those answers in. We got 5 seconds remaining, and I'm going to give you the countdown to 3, 2, and 1. All right, we got 4 with the correct answer. I can see how everyone would think it's Massachusetts. The key phrase here in this question is, in fact, per capita. So Vermonters like their beer. In fact, they like it so much that there's quite a few breweries, over 20 breweries there. And if you actually go and visit, they have a beer passport that as you go and visit each brewery, you can get stamped. So Vermont has some great beer. Definitely worth the road trip up there if you guys are ever looking to get out and explore. And it's just absolutely beautiful. So with that being said, yes, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Maine all do have their breweries, but it is in fact Vermont with the most breweries per capita. California overall has the most breweries, but obviously they, being one of the larger states, that just makes sense. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. And Buttercup stays locked in first place. Death Star stays in second. Bloomington, see what it is, and Team Rocket. So no changes there. Great job to everyone. You guys are definitely doing, it's impressive, I got to be honest. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. All right, so this is Army trivia now. We only have 5 questions remaining. So this is where it's going to start to get really interesting. And this round contains 3 questions worth double points. So go ahead and test your luck. Let's see how we do here. But while trying to create a synthetic rubber for the U.S. military in 1943, James Wright accidentally invented this. Was it A, chewing gum, B, silly putty, C, super glue, or D, duct tape? So we got about 20 seconds remaining with 7 answers in so far. Keep up the great work, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go ahead and get to talking about some of the great things that the military has brought you. The Army being the largest branch of the military, of course, is responsible for quite a bit of it. So 3 seconds remaining with 18 answers in, and your time is now up. So we got 3 with the correct answer there. Super glue. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right, so let's go back here real quick. So silly putty was the correct answer. I understand how people could mistake super glue. I have covered that in a previous episode in which Eastman Kodak accidentally created super glue while trying to develop a resin for rifle sights. But silly putty, there was a rubber shortage during World War II, and it was so bad that they were actually rationing rubber. So like people had to take classes. The government was actually putting out training and pamphlets on how to conserve your rubber, even like rubber rain jackets or rubber boots, because they didn't know how long the war was going to last for, and they didn't know if people would be able to replenish their rubber supplies because all of the rubber was going to the war effort. So the need was there to create a synthetic rubber, and sure enough, it was James Wright that, while playing along and trying to find that synthetic rubber, he developed one of the favorite toys of the 20th century, coming out, in the 1950s, being actually marketed to adults initially and then to kids. Just wild, because I mean the things that you can do with silly putty, if you've never played with it, just a lot of fun. I mean, it's a wild type of substance. But yeah, initially scientists said, well, there's no use for this, but it's since been found that there are several uses for it. Number one, it's just fun, and 2, it can be a good stress reliever. So if you haven't played with silly putty in a while, now's the time to go ahead while you're sitting there social distancing and still staying in the house to maybe just get something to keep yourself occupied. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. All right, Buttercup stays in first, Death Star is in second, Bloomington's in third, See What It Is in fourth, and Team Rocket is in fifth. So no change there to the leaderboard again, but we do have Mojo Man, the number 2 finisher from last week, making a comeback. So he's up 7 places. Let's see how he fares. He's going to try, I'm sure, to get onto that leaderboard as we only have a few more questions remaining. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the next question. All right, it's another times 2. So this popular actor and director served as a swim instructor in the U.S. Army prior to his entertainment career. Was it A, Tom Hanks, B, Martin Scorsese, C, Woody Allen, or D, Clint Eastwood? So for those of you that are movie buffs and movie enthusiasts, some of you might know that several of these actors and directors are supporters of the military, but one of them served. And it's pretty interesting, actually. So we got 3 seconds. So get those answers in. All right, yes, we got 13 with the correct answer, and it is Clint Eastwood. So Clint Eastwood, you know, just impressive, actually, how it all turned out. But during the Korean War, he served in the Army. He ended up being sent to Fort Ord, California, and they found that he was just such a great swimmer, having been a competitive swimmer previously earlier in his life, that they chose to keep him around as a swim instructor. And interestingly enough, he went to San Francisco one weekend to visit his then girlfriend, and he hopped a flight on a Navy plane, and upon returning back to Fort Ord, that plane actually went down, and they had to conduct a water landing. And so Clint Eastwood, thankfully, being the swimmer that he was able to swim a mile to shore to safety. But I mean, things could have been very different. We might not have had some of the movies that we all love and enjoy now had that gone differently. But with that being said, go Army, beat Navy, and let's go ahead and move on to the next question. So the leaderboard first, we got Death Star in the lead still. Buttercup close second. Bloomington's is in third, but She What It Is has now dropped down to fifth, and Jenny C is in fourth. So you guys are definitely doing a great job. Staff Sergeant P is the highest climber right now. He's up 4 places. He or she is up 4 places. So great job to you guys. Just to make it clear, we do only have a few remaining questions. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. Next question is, known as the King of Blues, he first served in the U.S. Army before reaching stardom. Was it A, B.B. King, B, Elvis Presley, C, John Lee Hooker, or D, B.B. Eric Clapton? So I gave you guys a freebie there. There was no such person as B.B. Eric Clapton. But let's see how everyone does with 10 seconds remaining, 18 answers in. And boom, all the answers are in. So great job, guys. 15 with the correct answer. So it was B.B. King. And B.B. King, growing up in country, in a small country town in Mississippi, he had this skill that at that time was considered essential to the war effort. He knew how to drive a tractor. So he joined the Army, ended up serving for a little while, and then was eventually discharged to go back to the farm because they needed tractor drivers so that we can continue providing food to the American people. So with that being said, though, he's still a veteran. He still served. And B.B. King, if you like blues or not, just an unbelievable guitarist. Had a way about his music and his artistic style, just impressive. And I've been fortunate enough. I saw him a few times in concert before he passed away. But my best time, I think I saw him for $1. The ticket cost me $1 because I saw him at the college that I was attending at the time, and it was a student-led event, and I got to sit in the front row. And it was awesome. So with that being said, the thrill is not gone, and let's move on and see what the leaderboard holds for everyone. Death Star stays locked in the lead. Buttercup stays in a close second. Bloomington's is in third. Jenny C is in fourth, and She What It Is still in fifth. So, all right, up 3 places is Army Mom. She's the highest climber right now, so great job to her, and you guys are all doing well. With that being said, we only got a couple left, so let's see what happens. I got a feeling it's about to get interesting. So, moving on to the next question. And it's a ×2. So, known by the nickname Blackjack, this soldier eventually became a 6-star general. So, was it A, George Washington, B, Dwight Eisenhower, C, John Pershing, or D, George S. Patton? We got about 20 seconds remaining. Blackjack earned his nickname for one of the positions that he held. And we got 10 seconds remaining with 17 answers in so far. So I'm going to give you that countdown with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. All right. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. We got 6 with the correct answer. So it is, in fact, John Pershing. So for those of you that don't know, John Pershing was initially was the only general to earn 6 stars. But George Washington later on was actually granted the same honor. So with that being said, John Pershing, just an incredible guy. He's done, he did so much for the Army, and he's very steeped in our Army traditions. So we have Pershing's Rifles, which is one of the top-notch drill teams out there, and so many others, Pershing's Band and everything else. So with that, John Pershing, after West Point, he went on to serve in a variety of different functions, but notably he was a commander of many of the black regiments initially, and he earned the name Blackjack from that position. So he was an advocate and a strong supporter in equal rights for African Americans, and just overall an inspiration. Being that the Army was, the first institution really within society to integrate racial, all races, I thought it was pertinent right now to talk about the fact that many in the Army, we've believed in equality for a very long time, and I believe that we're one of the few institutions that has really gotten it right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. And we got Bloomington's moving up into second. Oh my goodness. All right, Buttercup moves down to third. Death Star stays locked in first. She What It Is in fourth, and Jenny C's in fifth. And ladies and gentlemen, we have one question remaining. So this is really about to get interesting. Rain Man is the highest climber. He's up 5 places. So great job to all of you. And let's go ahead and see how we fare on this last question. All right, it's another ×2. So this U.S. Army general and later President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant's middle initials stood for what? Was it A, Sebastian, B, Stephen, C, Solomon, or D, nothing? So Ulysses S. Grant, U.S. Grant, just an incredible guy. We got about 15 seconds remaining. And we have 17 answers in, 18 answers in. So I'm going to give you the countdown starting with 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, all the answers are in, and we got 6 with the correct answer for nothing. So yes, Ulysses S. Grant was not born with S as a middle initial. It was not until that he was nominated to go to West Point that the congressman who nominated him actually just wrote S as his middle initial, and Grant actually often made jokes about it and wondered where that even came from, but it became a staple. I mean, basically while at West Point, because of his initials being US, people began calling him Uncle Sam. Now Grant, just an incredible guy. There's a lot that surrounds him in which he's forgotten in history, because Robert E. Lee often is painted throughout history as the overall better general. But Grant was a tactician. I mean, he understood strategically and tactically things that most people don't. And he was, hell-bent on ending the war, the Civil War at that time. And, after he won that war, he went on to become the president, and that job, trying to heal the nation after such a trying time, he was successful in that. I mean, there are moments where people believe that he was corrupt or whatever else, but overall, if you look back at his history, he was just a very impressive guy, and he healed the country in the best way that was possible at that time, because he was a strong supporter of equal rights for all, and he was a proud abolitionist. And so right now, in a time where we're all divided, I look to someone like him to, think of how we can reunite and bring everyone back together. And, that is just so important for us all, for our country, because united we stand and divided we fall. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to move on to the leaderboard and see who won Trivia Tuesday for this week. So in third place, we got Buttercup. Great job to Buttercup. In second place, we have Death Star. So great job to Death Star. And in first place, who will it be, ladies and gentlemen? It is Bloomington. So great job to Bloomington's. Wow, that is impressive. So awesome job, Bloomington's, Death Star, and Buttercup. You guys all did phenomenal today. I'm impressed. Those scores right there, wow. Okay, so yeah, Death Star dethroned at the last minute by Bloomington's, but pretty awesome overall. So great job, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much again for coming out to play. I hope that you all learned something. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. With that being said, be on the lookout. I am a bit slow because there is a pandemic still going on, but I am sending out all of these certificates and your prizes in the mail here soon. It's just a matter of when I can get to the post office next. But be on the lookout for your snail mail. If you won this week, please reach out to us and get the address. So Bloomington's, Death Star, and Buttercup, great job. Go ahead and get us your personal address, your information, so that we can actually get something in the mail out to you. And as our way of saying thanks for giving us your time today. With that being said, please spread the word. Let everyone else know that we are doing this still every Tuesday, and we are having a blast with it. We have intentions to eventually start broadcasting live once we can get back to getting out in the world again. We'd like to start broadcasting live from some of these very historic sites that we talk about, and we hope to have some co-hosts that you might all recognize at some point too. So with that being said, spread the word. If you know any teachers out there, if you know any real smarty pants or any trivia buffs that really just want to come out and have a good time, please come out and spread that word to them. Get them to come out, because I really want to know if you're wicked smart or not. So with that being said, thank you again for coming. We'll see you again next week. And in the meanwhile, stay safe and stay healthy and take care.